Hey everybody, this is Dr. Casey Hart. I am going to be the one proctoring, overseeing, teaching the MCM 565 Race, Gender, and Media course for Summer 1 2017. On your course name, it's going to be called Broadcast Seminar. Broadcast Seminar essentially means that it can be any number of courses. This time, it's race, gender, class, and the media. In this class, I wanted to go ahead and give you guys a little bit of an overview, a little bit of a heads up about what is going to be going down here. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to just start by saying this. I know that this class has the potential of being very controversial. Race, gender, class issues, these are very, very hot button these days. Everybody, readjust that, everyone seems to have an opinion, everyone has thoughts on it. That's perfectly fine. In fact, that's one of the things that I think is very important about a class like this, is it gives us the ability to actually discuss these issues. But please understand, the biggest part of this class is not just talking about, say, racial inequality within our society. Does it exist? Does it not? In what terms does it exist? Between whom does it exist? We're not just talking about things like that as this semester goes on. We're talking about specifically the media's role in sometimes instigating, perpetuating, combating, exacerbating, fighting, basically the media's influence on this particular topic. So as we go forward and we talk about some very hot button issues and some very, in some cases, difficult issues, please keep in mind that the entire discussion needs to come back to media. Now, as much as the media plays a role in our daily lives, and I'm not just talking about news, please understand that from the beginning, we're talking about news, movies, TV shows, video games, magazines, newspapers, advertising, public relations, social media, internet sites of various kinds. Literally, if it's something that is beyond person-to-person communication, internal, what we would call intrapersonal communication, if it is communication on a mass scale, we are potentially talking about that in this class. So, just make sure that your discussions always come back to this idea of media and mass communication and how the media impacts these topics, and I think you'll be fine. Okay, let me move on from that. So, we've got a month to deal with this, 5 weeks to be exact, and to lay this out to help you guys understand what expectations I have and you should have. The way this class is going to go, it's going to have a lot of, I guess you would say, self-directed study. A couple of things. This is going to be your book, Gender, Race, Class, and the Media, Critical Reader. This is actually a very, very good book, but you're going to find that the chapters are very, very short. There are a ton of chapters in this book, but they are very, very short. We're talking about 6 to 8 pages each. The book's designed as basically an overview, okay? It's to give you a lot of different ideas and perspectives on race, class, and gender, and its interaction, and the media's interaction in these areas. So, I will not be able to assign, nor would I even want to try and assign, even half of the chapters in this book to you guys. What I have done is I've gone through and I've tried to assign what I would say is a good smattering of chapters that cover various aspects that we will be talking about in class. I would suggest that as this goes on, or as this class goes on, there is nothing that would keep you from branching off and reading some of the others. Particularly if you look in the index and find things that are of interest to you, maybe things that are interest in your analysis paper that will be due at the end of this semester, it may be a perfect resource for you to go back in and take a look at. So, to start with, I want you to understand that the book we're not going to be reading the whole book. I'm assigning you chapters that are designed to get you thinking about the topic, okay? As the semester goes on, I'm also going to be giving you, in basically on a daily basis, different topics that I want you to think about. As soon as this class opens, which is probably the time that you're looking at this video, you should have access to the entire class. I mean, every week of this semester. I would urge you to watch or to look through every single week, every single day, every single week, and to familiarize yourself very quickly with all the content. Okay? I don't mean that you have to read it all the first day, but at very least, pay attention to what is going to be expected. Click through it in the first day or so and see what is coming up. Okay? You're going to have some very hard deadlines, but how you proceed through the class, how much you absorb in a particular day, that's largely going to be up to you. Now, you will notice that we are going to have some very specific assignments that are due. I've got weekly discussion posts that you're going to be expected to complete. Those are fairly standard, minimum of 300 words, and I've usually got some other questions in there that I'd like you to address. Please understand, 300 words is like the absolute bare minimum that I would expect could potentially handle these topics. That is not something where I'm saying the average person should be able to handle this in 300 words. Okay? I would suspect that it would take much more than 300 words to properly address most of the questions I ask in the discussion posts, and then respond to your classmates. Okay? Even if you respond on the first day and no one else has responded yet, that just means that you are going to have to check back later and respond. If you don't respond to your classmates, it will adversely affect your grade. So please make sure you do that. Okay? It's just part of being an online class. Next, in addition to the weekly assignments, there are going to be 2 video discussion responses. Okay, this is a little bit different. You probably haven't done this in any of your classes before. If you have, great. If you haven't, let me explain what I am expecting. Being able to write about these topics is one thing, and that's great. It's very, very important in a master's class to be able to write about it. It's very, very important to be able to speak about them. Okay? I want you to be able to carry on a legitimate, coherent, compelling conversation, discussion about these topics. So you've got 2, through the course of this semester, you've got 2 discussion posts where you will record a 5 to 10 minute discussion on a topic that I will give you. 5 to 10 minutes should go pretty quickly. For example, this one right now, I'm covering the topics of just what to expect in this class, and we're at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. I am not expecting you to write a script and read it to me. I'm expecting you to basically talk to me as if I'm sitting across the table with you over coffee. Explain the topic to me. I want to see that you understand it, that you have a comprehensive knowledge of the topic that we're talking about, that you've thought about it, that you can turn it over, flip it around, deconstruct it, put it back together, that you can cite some major authors, and if you can bring in some that I haven't given you, hey, extra bonus points for that. So I'm really looking for you to be able to show me that you can do more than just write 300 words on this. I want you to be able to talk to me about it. So I've given you on this news feed basic introduction to how to set up a YouTube channel. If you haven't done this before, I would suggest please watch that video. It's made by kind of a kid, but he does a very, very good job of explaining how to set up a YouTube channel and how to upload videos to that YouTube channel. I would suggest there's any number of ways you can record a video. You can use your phone, you can use your computer. There's tons of free services out there that would allow you to record. If you're using a Mac, QuickTime will allow you to record. If you're using a phone, every iPhone has a video recording capability. You can upload it directly from your phone to YouTube. It's very, very simple to do. So, if this is something that is just giving you all kinds of problems, we can talk. So that you've got 2 of those coming up. They're big. They're worth quite a few points. So I would suggest, if you are having trouble at the beginning of the semester, work it out, figure it out quick, and let me know if you've got problems. This is going to be a big part of your semester. Your final project is actually going to be a relatively short, compared to some other projects, analysis paper. It's not going to be a research paper in so much as there's not a strict methodology. What I am going to ask you to do is basically take some sort of contemporary issue dealing with media and race, class, or gender. Not all 3. Okay, I want you to focus on just one issue and one contemporary issue, and then one of these aspects: race, gender, or class. And then I want you to break it down, and I want you to think about it and discuss it in writing. And I've got the full write-up of the expectations also up online, so you can look at that more thoroughly. So there will be a time, I think in week 3, where you can turn in a first draft if you choose. I would suggest that you turn in something to let me take a look at it. And then we'll turn in the final draft the final week. You will also turn in, I'm asking for a narrated PowerPoint. If you want to just do a presentation some other way, that's fine, but I would prefer a narrated PowerPoint. On the syllabus, there's a link that will show you how to do a narrated PowerPoint. It's very, very easy to do as well. If you can handle your video presentations, the narrated PowerPoint shouldn't be bad. Again, I want to make sure that you can not only write about this, but you can also talk about it. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap this up real quick here. The final thing I want to say is this. When you first look at this, when you start clicking through and looking from week to week, you're going to see day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, day 8, and so forth and so on. Here's the thing. I'm going to give you specific chapters I would suggest that you read. Then I'm going to give you topics that I say review. My expectation is this. The material I'm giving you in this class is material that I think is helpful, beneficial, and will set you on the right path to understanding these topics. Okay? It's not exhaustive. In other words, this is only the tip of the iceberg. And I can't force you to read this. I also don't know that I necessarily expect you to read every single word of every single thing I post. For example, in your final project, if you're more interested in a topic that is oriented toward class issues, well, then maybe you read every word of the class articles and content, but maybe you're skimming some of the race or the gender stuff. I'm not advocating, I'm just saying that you've got 5 weeks, okay? I want to make sure that you guys get a good overview and understanding of this, but don't kill yourself here, okay? I would urge you to read the full chapters that I'm giving you, but when I say review this, and this, if you can read them all, read them all. If you can watch all the videos I give you, watch all the videos, sure. But my expectation is that you're, again, reviewing, not necessarily reading every single word. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap it up at 15 minutes here and leave it with you. As always, if you've taken a class with me before, if you've got questions, comments, concerns, if you want to talk or chat, let me know. My contact information is on the syllabus. Get in touch with me. I'm happy to talk with you anytime we can work out a time. Okay, email me through my SFA email address. You can get me much easier that way as opposed to the D2L. That one sometimes gets kind of caught in the ether and disappears. Okay, so the Hart CB, that's Hart, HART, C as in Charlie, B as in Bravo, at sfasu.edu. That's the best way of getting in touch with me on the syllabus. I've also given you my office number and cell phone number. If you're going to try and get in touch with me on cell phone, what I would suggest is text me first. I'm going to be traveling the first week or so of the semester, so text me first, and I might have to get back with you, okay? All right, guys, good luck. I know you guys can handle it. I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. And again, any questions you have, please let me know. See ya.